live round. In the blick, get you hit. Bitch, we gon' get you first. Don't get caught up in the mix. Better watch out for that blitz. Can't deny that I'm lit. You can't deny that I'm lit.
Can't deny that I'm lit. Gotta ride with your blick. Fuck watching for the option. Be the cops to get you hit. I just right up off the porch. Mama said stay up out the mix. Niggas up when I was broke. They left me down on my dick.
All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Jameer with the Journalism, presented to you by As the Culture Turns. Before we get into everything, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Again, please subscribe to the YouTube channel because we got some things to get into. And also, it helps you stay tuned with more content just like this. All right, y'all. So on today's episode, we will be discussing The Breakfast Club because unless you've been living under a rock, it went down last night when Jess Hilarious went live about what has been going on behind the scenes with The Breakfast Club. All right, so for those of you who don't know, Corey Holcomb recently, compared Loren Lorosa to Jess Hilarious. And I feel like he did that because he has seen the online conversations about it. People like me, I've been covering this since before it became a hot topic, because there has been a lot of conversation in the comments about who is better for the seat, Jess Hilarious or Loren Lorosa. But I want to break it down. So what I have here is, again, The Breakfast Club is currently a hot topic because Jess Hilarious went live. And during her live, she seemed to take shots at the whole production team, Charlamagne the God, and DJ Envy. So as for those of you who all know, I'm pretty sure anyone that clicked this video, y'all know that y'all know who Jess Hilarious is. Y'all know who Loren Lorosa is. All right, so I want to just get straight into the videos of what Jess was saying, and then I will give my commentary after each video. I got about like 4 clips that I want to play. So I'm gonna play clip number 1, and then we will discuss.
Honestly, if he didn't hate me so much, I would actually agree with some shit that he was saying. I would. The girl is great at what she do. Loren with the latest is flawless. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. She got that. I fought for that. The fuck is we talking about? I don't know how long it's gonna take for a motherfucker to confirm that. But yeah, it's like that. I started saying shit on air. Like I said, I don't know if y'all really listen to, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all really listen to that shit 6 a.m. or whatever. Yeah. I advocated for that. Get that shit to her. Get that segment to her, man. Get that shit to her. Get that segment to her, man. That girl do what she do. She do it great. She was doing it great at TMZ. She doing it great at The Breakfast Club. I also been said that she did great during the co-hosting year too. Said that. Along with Claudia Jordan and Jason Lee. I also said that. Okay? Stop trying to make me out to be the villain. Or like I'm the fucking hater or something. I ain't never gonna hate on no fucking woman. Ever.
All right, so I want to address some of what she said in that. So I do agree. Now, I do feel as though that there is a campaign to make Jess Hilarious this bad person, whether it's in the comments or whether it's the discrepancies that's going on at, The Breakfast Club with the producers and everything. So I like the fact that she gave Loren Lorosa her her props and said that she does very well with the latest with Loren Lorosa because she does. Like that position, that new segment that Loren Lorosa got, it fits her very well and it was very well needed, So other things she said in that clip is the fact that she said that she think that she was good during the tryout era. I disagree. I don't think Loren was good during the tryouts. I feel as though that she was great during when she filled in for Jess for maternity leave, And I have said in videos before that I definitely do think that Claudia Jordan was my first choice. and I'm a Jason Lee student, you know. So for me, I thought Jason Lee did great when he was up there as well. For me personally, I like Jason Lee better on his own platforms. You know, that's just me personally, but I wouldn't have mind seeing him up there. Or Claudia Jordan. I do feel like she was my first choice, but I do feel like Claudia Jordan, it was an ageism thing for me when it came to Claudia Jordan. I just felt like they thought that she was too old. You know, even though Claudia looks very youthful, the fact that she's like a 51, 52-year-old woman, you know, so if you want to sustain this show for the next 10 years, then that'll be like a 62-year-old woman expected to keep up with hot topics, you know, so I think that's what went into that decision for sure. And for Just Hilarious, I like the fact that she is letting it be known that she rooted for this segment to become a thing because, again, a big thing in the comments was the fact that Lauren Lorosa was doing Jess with the mess. However, the segment is named after Jess, and it seemed as if that Lauren LaRosa was doing all the work. So after that, DJ Envy will be like, thank you, Lauren LaRosa. So it just didn't make sense. So I'm happy that she pushed for it to become Lauren LaRosa's segment because, again, she did the segment well. Like, she showed up and showed out during her fill-in for Just Hilarious, you know? So I just feel as though that she came in with a plan. And I feel like the plan worked because now she has a segment and now she is a part of the ensemble cast, whether it's, you know, during certain segments or throughout the whole show. She's a part of it. So I just feel bad for Jess because I do feel as though that there are things happening behind her back and that she's not aware of, you know, and she feels as though that nobody is having her back online. They're letting this narrative play out about her being this jealous, mean, aggressive person towards Loren. And if that is true, that's not fair. You know, I understand that drama can bring ratings and, you know, disagreements and stuff, but I just feel like if you're going to hatch up a plan like that, nobody needs to be the bad guy. And there's no need to hatch up that type of plan because I think that we like the four of them, whether they're all getting along or whether they're not. But I don't think they have to like force or fake confrontation or a beef, you know? So that's what I think about that clip. Now let's go to the next clip.
You try to come back to work, and the motherfucker is right there at your desk, and ain't nobody telling you shit, mind you. Nobody telling you nothing, mind you. Before you know it, everybody thinking you're the villain. Like I'm the villain, cause I didn't know shit. I'm sick of that. I'm very, very sick of that. I'm sick of the shit. It's weird. It's weird. I don't fuck with it. Just be quiet up there. I'm not fighting over no mic space. I'm not fighting over no mic. That's why I went from shut up and hush to not saying nothing. No. I'm not gonna compete where I already won this competition. I didn't know it was supposed to be 4. If this was presented to me, you know, prior to hire, then I wouldn't have been so shocked. Like, oh shit, all right, cool. So when we bringing in the 4th person, shit, that's what's up, cool. It's only time for that segment. You know what I'm saying? We had a meeting today to restructure the show and shit like that.
All right. So about that clip, so I empathize with her in this situation because again, she was out for maternity leave, and when she came back, Lauren LaRosa was still there, you know? So I think anybody, no matter what position with job you work, anybody will feel some type of way if the person who was set to fill in for them, you know, was there in their absence, but then they still remain around in their presence. You know, however, I do want to say though, Jess, Lauren LaRosa did such a good job that us in the comments didn't want her to leave. You know, I'm pretty sure that the executives and even the producers, I'm sure they saw what she brought the second time around, and we did not want her to leave. She did her job so well that it made us realize that we either need more from you or that you, Just Hilarious, wasn't giving us enough. You know, and I'm a big Jess Hilarious fan, so I do feel as though that during the audition process, Jess Hilarious did her thing. She earned that job fair and square, and she was the best choice out of the few that I would have suggested. She was one of the best choices for sure. And she mentioned that she's not competing for a spot that she already won. Now, I get two sides of that because yes, you already won that spot, but that spot is not permanently yours, if that make any sense. So because you won that spot during the audition process does not mean that you can't lose your seat. You know, depending on how long your contract is, you could potentially lose your seat. But also, when you get that spot, you got to make sure that you know how to keep that spot. So when I say that just even though you got pregnant and everything in the midst of starting the show, you were still supposed to show up and show out. So again, yes, you won that spot, but what are you going to do to secure that spot, to keep that spot, to make sure that no matter who come in and fill in for you, that they cannot, you feel me, take up the space that you bring there, or they can't bring what you bring. Loren Lorosa actually brought what you can bring plus more, if I'm being very honest. So yes, even though you won that spot fair and square, it doesn't mean that it still wasn't up for grabs, as we see. Now for me, she said that she's not fighting over mic space. So for me, when you choose not to fight over mic space, or you just kind of go to the wayside and you become passive, that's why people like me, I have multiple videos of me complaining like, yo, what's up with Jess? You feel me? And then it's a lot of people in the comments, they notice that. So my thing is, you should have listened. Okay, you want to be here? I'm going to make you compete again, and I'm going to beat you again. That should have been Jess Hilarious's mindset. She should have competed. Like, okay, I already beat you once. Let me show them again. You feel me? Because within that, it feels as though that you not willing to fight over the mic space kind of gave Loren Lorosa more mic space, and it got us used to hearing her and preferring her in that segment. Because the thing that Loren Lorosa brings, she brings structure. She brings a certain level of knowledge that the others don't have, and it kind of legitimizes the show. Whereas it's like, okay, when she interview people, she is given great questions to ask, and she's actually doing her research. And then when it comes to reporting on the news, she's actually doing her research. She's following up. She's giving us sources. Like, she done did everything that needed to be done in that chair. So yes, I agree with you, Jess. You did win that seat fair and square. But I feel like Loren Lorosa came back for a second round, and whether you know it or not, she was in competition to make sure that, you know what, they're going to use me for a fill-in. I'm going to solidify myself a seat somewhere in this building. And I respect her for that because, again, she brought her A game the second time around. When you do so good like that, that's how you're supposed to perform. That's how you're supposed to perform for someone that you fill in for. That way you can either take their job or you can be added to the job, and considered for a position. So I feel like, even though I understand what Jess is saying, because I feel like Jess would have been cool with it had the producers and Charlamagne and them, had they told her what was going down. I feel as though that Jess Hilarious would have been cool with it. Like, she's clearly giving this girl her flowers on the way that she does the segment. So I don't even think that she's hating. I feel like she's just upset because she was in the dark about the situation. And the comment was very true. Imagine you coming back and this bitch is still at your desk. I'm not calling Loren Lorosa a bitch, but I think that's what she said. And Loren Lorosa is still there. Okay, like, what is going on? I would want to know what's going on too, and it would make me feel very uncomfortable and uneasy. I would feel like I'm either being pushed out, or I would feel as though that something is happening, but y'all not telling me. So I understand why she feels the way that she feels. And in my opinion, I think that all four of them need to stay. They don't need to get rid of nobody. They need to keep all four, because honestly, the two women, it balances out the two men, because sometimes if they are jumping on Loren Lorosa, then Jess can kind of step in, and then vice versa. So I think all four need to stay because, again, at the end of the day, we are talking about it. We're talking about the Breakfast Club. I've been talking about it before it got into this headlines news, and now it's a rival topic right now. So I've been discussing this for a while because as a Breakfast Club fan and as a avid Breakfast Club watcher, I want what's best for the show. So if what's best for the show is having all four of them on there, then let's do that. But I do think that, again, as she stated in the clips throughout the whole live, and I don't have the whole live, she stated that she's not going to act oblivious. Like, she knows what is being said in the comments, and she understands why people feel that way, but she don't appreciate how they are continuing to allow this narrative to go on because Charlamagne the God had actually wanted her to egg it on and play into the fact that they don't like each other. I feel like that's good after a certain time limit. Like, nobody want to see that because some of the things, it made some of us uncomfortable. That's why we were, doing videos saying that, hey, Jess Hilarious cut off Loren Lorosa. She told Loren Lorosa to shut up, or the energy is off. She's checked out. She's not even participating in the conversation. It was a lot of that going on in the comments because we seen the weird energy. I feel like it could have been a little bit more of a playful banter going on. And I feel like even in recent episodes, I have been loving the chemistry and the vibe. Like, the last few episodes that they have been doing, it's been great. And I feel like with all four of them, they need to just get it together because this can take the show to another stratosphere. Because even though Loren Lorosa is organized, she's well put together, she's structured, I feel like she doesn't have that shock value that Jess Hilarious have. And Jess Hilarious has that shock value, even though she's not as structured or as organized as Loren Lorosa. I feel like having them both can level out what's needed. You need the righteousness with the wretchedness. That's what Charlamagne said, so you need a little bit of both. They both bring something different. So I don't understand why we can't keep both. All right, so let me go to the next clip real quick.
We supposed to be a team up that bitch. Not one person comes to my defense at all. Like, when I'm like, not one motherfucker ever with this online shit. Like, why the fuck should we have to keep playing it? Man, listen, I know one thing. Angela Yee ain't that motherfucking crazy. Not as crazy as niggas try to make out to be. Nah, it's the reason that lady wanted to leave that show. I don't know how she did that shit for 13 years, my nigga. I'm telling you. I don't give a fuck. Y'all already know what's up with me. I feel played with. I'm gonna play with niggas. Like, that's just like, come on. I've been quiet a lot. If Jess Hilarious is quiet, it's a motherfucking reason. I always got my motherfucking mouth open. All the time. Now, how about y'all clear some of this shit?
Listen, I understand when you're being played with or you feel like people are playing games and they're not keeping it 100 with you at your job, then she has the right to feel every way that she feels, okay? Now, she addressed the whole Angela Yee thing where Angela Yee described it as like a toxic workplace or, it was no woman that worked there. It was only men, even though we see that they have female producers and different things like that. She brought up the fact that I guess they made Angela Yee seem a little bit more crazier or, made it seem like that she was lying about the whole situation. And we don't know what's true or what's not true, However, on the topic of Angela Yee, I'm sorry, her show was so boring. I tried to watch with Angela Yee. I can't get into it. But I can say that Angela Yee is very good at radio, and she's very good at, being able to moderate conversations. That's the whole thing right there. And the fact that Jess feels like nobody is coming to her defense, that right there is sad because it was known that her and Charlamagne had a great relationship. And if you're a real Breakfast Club watcher like I am, prior to her putting this live out, I've already started to see the tension between Charlamagne and Jess Hilarious. There has been some thick tension between the two of them. Not too long ago, Jess Hilarious had just kind of called him out for being a closeted Republican. And it was a situation going on about the stylist that dragged the 15-year-old girl out for not paying for her hair, and him and her went back and forth on that topic, you know, and you seen that in that Jess Hilarious was fed up. So what I like and what she said in that live, that she feels as though that Loren Lorosa does not have a role in this, you know, manipulations or the semantics behind the scenes. She feel like it's more so of Charlemagne, DJ Envy, and the producers, you know. So I feel like that a lot of her smoke is going more towards them as opposed to going towards Loren LaRosa. Even though she made some valid points about Loren LaRosa, because it's like, okay, if you're not going to confirm or, you know, clarify off of air that we are cool or that I helped you get that segment, then I will too feel some type of way if I was Jess Hilarious. If you're not going to, like, even when Jess Hilarious came back, and I said this on the previous video, I didn't like how Loren LaRosa had brought up what was going on in the comments. Like, during Jess Hilarious's return, I didn't like that she brought that up because, again, even though, yes, it's going down in the comments, that don't need to be the first thing that you acknowledge when you see this girl. It goes to show that you be in the comments, and it goes to show that you agree with the comments a lot, because you do. And I'm sure she loved the fact that we were in the comments saying that we preferred her over Jess Hilarious or they need to keep her. I'm sure she enjoyed that. But what Loren LaRosa had to realize, which I'm sure she will, is that the fans are fickle. And, you know, if they were to get rid of Jess, then you are the next target that they are coming after, and they're going to come after you. You know, so I think the best bet for the show is to make sure all four of it work. It needs to work. Like, they need to figure it out and make it work, because I do feel like there needs to be a balance between the women. Like, there's a balance between the men on the show, you know? So yeah, that's definitely my take on that particular video. I got one more clip to show. And again, this was a long live. I wasn't able to get every single thing that she said, but I got the gist of it. So let's do the next clip.
Shit up for y'all teammate. That shit is ran like a high school. Yeah. It's ran like a high school. It is. Fair East Side High. Fair East Side High. Before Mr. Clark, though. Like when he first got there. Y'all want a bitch to keep her cool. Look, check this out, y'all. Look, man. I get up every fucking day. Every day. And they always talk, well, you ain't at work. You ain't at work. Yeah, bitch, I started picking up more shows. Hell no. That's how I'm getting. Hell no. Hell no. I have more fun outside the fucking studio than I have in there now. Is you crazy?
All right. So she said that it's ran like a high school. And given her account of things, if that's true what's going on, that is high school stuff. Like, tell her what it ain't or what it is. If y'all gonna add the goddamn girl to the damn seed. You feel me? Like, why play games and back and forth? You know? I do feel like, though, a lot of this kind of played to Jess's benefit, because it's like when you're not there, then Loren LaRosa is willing to fit in, even though she's not the official third co-host, even though she's the fourth one in my mind. And she's the senior news producer, so she has like some leverage there for sure, because she definitely got that. You feel me? That, you know, if you watch recent episodes, like you see Loren LaRosa definitely feeling herself, as she should, in a good way, like as she should. She deserved everything she got. You know, but back to Jess Hilarious saying that it feels like high school, and back to her saying that that's why she's booking shows. People need to realize Jess Hilarious is a comedian first. She is not a journalist like Loren LaRosa, who came from TMZ, where her job was to get stories. TMZ was known for breaking stories. So again, I feel like what Jess brings to the table, Loren doesn't, and what Loren brings to the table, Jess doesn't. So as I'm gonna say again, keep the both of them. That's what is needed right there. And with Jess, with you booking the other shows and everything, number one, I could see her doing that because she probably don't feel secure at her job. And then I'm pretty sure maybe once this contract is up, because again, I think she should stay, but I definitely do think that she's either going to walk away, or they're going to let her go. That's going to be one or the other, in my opinion, what actually happens, you know? But my final thoughts on this whole situation, I definitely do hope that they can reconcile and figure something out. I'm hoping that this was a big publicity stunt. Like, I'm hoping that's what it was, because they did do something like this before. before they announced the third co-host, and she went online and made a comment about DJ Envy and Charlamagne the God. Like that was something that they all orchestrated, and then they came out with the rollout. So I do hope that this is a publicity stunt, but I probably don't think that, because I feel like Jess Hilarious was just like way too, upset, and she felt betrayed, and she felt like nobody has her back. And she also said that she hoped that she goes in there this morning, which I'm gonna find out because I'm gonna do another video later on. She goes in there this morning, and I know the race is gonna be through the roof because people is gonna want to know what is going on. But also this, Jess Hilarious, whether y'all like her or not, she is the reason why a lot of us is discussing the Breakfast Club. She is the reason why it is like in the blogs. Her and Loren Lorosa is the reason for that. So I feel like they both contribute more, and they both add more shock value, in my opinion, than DJ Envy. I mean, I guess because he's been there, he's not on the chopping block, but I definitely do feel like if they're going to get rid of somebody, it should be him. But I understand he's the moderator, he's been doing this for a while, so he knows this job like the back of his hand. So maybe that wouldn't be like the best idea. But my thing would be, as I said always, just keep Loren LaRosa with the ladies with Loren LaRosa, and then y'all need to just give Jess her Jess Fix My Mess segment, and then make it all work. Because again, regardless of anything, Loren LaRosa did the news reporting segment better than Jess Hilarious. So again, the only person that Jess Hilarious can be mad at is herself, because again, you did not show up and show out like you did during your audition process. I get it. You had a baby, and that you stated you wanted to have a baby, and you was going to have your baby. So sometimes those are some of the consequences that come with it. Somebody going to come in, and they showed the producers that they could do it without you if really needed and necessary. So you didn't even get to the point where you solidified your seat. You were still sitting in your seat, and you were still getting acclimated to the seat, but you was not at the point where you kind of like, was like not making sure, but you wasn't at the point where it was like solidified, like, okay, this is the girl, like, nobody can replace her. We were still trying to get used to you. That's the fact of the whole matter. We were still trying to get used to you, and you was going too soon. However, you're back now, and I think that they need to keep all four of you all. And I think that this needs to be addressed on the air, because I love all of them. I'm a big fan of all of them. And I actually follow Loren LaRosa, Jess Hilarious, and the rest of the Charlamagne the God and everyone. So this needs to be addressed on the air. Like, this needs to be a conversation had. And hopefully, because in a live, Jess Hilarious stated that she doesn't know if her key card won't work in the morning. Hopefully her key card works. Hopefully her airing it out and putting it out there is a way for them to put a bow on this whole situation, and we can move forward. Because again, with a magnitude of a show like this, like the Breakfast Club, we need it to be at its best. And I feel like it's at its best right now with the four of them. And I do think that Loren LaRosa needs to be added more into the other segments as well. Not just for the ladies with Loren LaRosa. She needs to be an official fourth member, do an official photo shoot, and let's get this thing rolling. And then we could go from there. Whether they renew Jess Hilarious' contract or not, I think they'd be making a big mistake by not renewing her contract. And I think I don't want to say she'll make a mistake for walking away, because I would understand if she walked away. But if she walked away, they need to find somebody else for that fourth seat for sure. So y'all let me know what y'all think about it down in the comments. What are your thoughts on Jess Hilarious going live and airing out what's been going on behind the scenes at the Breakfast Club? Do you feel like that she overreacted? Do you feel as though that Loren LaRosa is overstepping her boundaries and is, stepping into her space? Do you feel as though that the producers are playing mind tricks on Jess Hilarious and trying to kick her or trick her out of her seat? Or do you think that, everything is fine and this is good for the show? Do you think this is a publicity stunt? Let me know down in the comments. And what are your thoughts? Do you think it should be all four of them? Do you think it should be three of them? Let me know. But again, as always, I will always tell y'all, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. And if you want to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram at Jameer with 3 underscores like you see it. And you can follow the platform on Instagram at As the Culture Turns. Again, that's As the Culture Turns. And as always, this has been Jameer with the journalism. And I do my research.